I almost got sucked into it. It was like a cult that you really don't want to cross these people because this is their whole life. Like this is their whole new identity. The situation escalated quickly. So embarrassed. I was so angry about what was going on. When you are researching your heritage, especially if you have Indigenous heritage in any way, you have to be really careful. Hi, I'm Danielle Romero. Thank you so much for being with me here on my channel, where we talk about American identity and family stories and how those come together. And I've been digging into a lot of different parts of my family story on this channel. My dad's side is Southern Italian, and there's been a lot of surprises there. My mom's side is from Louisiana on one side, from Ireland on the other side. And I want to talk to you about the biggest mistake I think I've ever made when I was doing family history. This happened 3 years ago. But before we do that, I want to make sure that if you're not a part of the community, that you subscribe for the newsletter so we can stay connected. And if you'd love an ad-free experience of my videos, I've been moving a lot over to Patreon for $3 a month. No YouTube, no ads. We can connect. It's really awesome. 3 years ago, a certain group of people from Native American tribe tried to use legal action to bully me and obviously failed. But during this time, they spread really harmful and completely made up rumors about me, and that included written letters that were being spread to thousands of people, threatening my work and what I'm doing right here. But despite those efforts, it didn't work. Here I am. But it taught me some valuable lessons about when we're making family connections and being careful about the connections that you make. So I can't wait to do this video. So in an attempt to piece together my family's history on my mom's side, I never expected to find myself at the center of a controversy. But I'll start with a simple Facebook group. Oh, everything bad starts with Facebook. I stand firm by that. But it was innocuously named Family Reunion. And it was a digital gathering spot where I was actually able to start connecting with distant family members for the first time. So when I first started researching my Louisiana heritage, I decided I don't really use Facebook, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to type some stuff in and see what shows up. And this group popped up and I recognized a lot of the surnames in this group and I was really excited. I got really connected. I actually became an admin for the page. I did a lot of research, translating documents in Spanish and looking for different things like that. A couple years later, I come back and want to kind of check in. I'm doing my ancestry stuff again. You know how that kind of ebbs and flows. It looked like the group's purpose had begun to shift. It had gone from kind of like a big family experience, people sharing pictures and stories, to a focus on getting recognized as a Native American tribe. Somehow, they were able to get state recognition during this time, and now they were pursuing federal recognition. About 3 years ago, for the first time, I went to Louisiana. I was really excited to go to Natchitoches, Louisiana, where my great-grandmother lived until she was about 10. And I wanted to kind of just walk the streets that she walked and see the Cane River and just talk to whoever would talk to me, to be quite honest. I was so hungry. I knew nothing, really, except I had some ancestry records. And I thought, if people are willing to talk to me, we'll make the drive, we'll show up. And so the then chief, I don't really know what's happening now, of this tribe, who shall remain anonymous.
I've already called my lawyer.
And another person that was like a tribal elder or something, agreed to meet with me. And I was so excited to sit down with them and maybe find out more about my family story. And at this time, I was really under the impression that I would find that family history in a tribal scenario. That's what the impression that I was falsely under. Okay, but we're going to get to that. We met together. I met these people. They seemed very nice. There were some documents that I was looking for that they kind of danced around and they didn't have those documents. And I was like, okay, I know that we're related. And this chief is feeling pretty confident that they will get federal recognition. I was like, that's really cool. I'm not really planning on enrolling. That's not really my thing. I didn't enroll, but we stayed in contact and talked. And I ended up meeting another person who was even closer cousin that I came back and met 2 years ago. I met him in Louisiana and we were able to sit down and he told me he was very connected to the tribe too. And he sat down and gave me a little bit of the tribal history. And I was super interested to hear it, especially from him. He had all these documents that the chief had given him, the chief that I had met, and he was kind of explaining the history. And so we made a little short. I think it was the very first video that I ever put out on YouTube. It was like a 2 to 3 minute short of us meeting and him just kind of telling me the story about the tribe. And at this point, I was still under the assumption that this was real history. What happened was I do this video with my cousin, and after the video, I thought I'm going to go to the tribal website and just kind of double check what he said. I don't want to put anything out that's incorrect or unfactual, or if he said something by mistake. Like, I just wanted to make sure it was like I dotted all my I's, crossed all my T's, because this was my first YouTube video. I was like, I'm going to do a really good job. So I went to their website and I took pictures and stuff of what was on there and matched what he said identical. It was the same. I was like, awesome, move forward with this video. So after I released this little interview, and this is just a personal project, this is just me doing it, sharing it with my family, whatever, the situation escalated quickly. Now, the tribe, like I said, was deeply invested in trying to get federal recognition. And so what ended up happening was the chief reached out to me through some of his minions, and then he ended up reaching out to me too, and they told me I had to take down the video. And I was like, why do I have to take down the video? And he told me that unfortunately the man I had talked to had given the incorrect information, and they talked to him and they need me to pull the video. And I was like, well, I double checked all the information on your website. I actually took screenshots. All the stuff he said is on there. And it was like radio silence. Suddenly they started putting out, first of all, they kicked me out of they removed me as an admin. They kicked me out of the group. And then they were circulating letters that were defaming me and my character, which were they were total lies, and they were going out to thousands of people. I had family members reaching out to me saying, hey, I got this letter about you. And I was so embarrassed. I was so angry about what was going on. I wanted to actually read through a letter that came out yesterday, August 26th, 2022. It was put up by the NTL executive officers. It was concerning me, but after the letter was published, I was restricted or suspended from the Facebook group, so I can't post anything or comment, so I couldn't respond to their letter at all. So I wanted to have a chance to actually respond to it, the document that all the council chiefs were given, and it's actually still available on their website right now in that same form. The mistake is in that document that chief has given to his council chiefs and still has published on their website right now. That's not what they wrote in the letter. What they said happened is that he asked for it to be corrected before she used it. She used it without correcting it, and it was posted on the internet on YouTube. There was no way for him to see my documentary short before it was posted. Like, this honest mistake is sitting on their website right now, a full day after they sent this letter about me. I don't know what they're hiding. I don't know what their issue is. The appropriate response would have been to say, hey, we have a mistake on our website. We are so sorry that we gave our council chiefs the wrong history about our own tribe. We are so sorry and embarrassed that we have the wrong history about our tribe on our website. Please accept our apologies for that. Is there any way that we can remedy this with the film? And I would have said, sure. They tried to get an attorney involved, and thankfully he looked at the stuff and he told my attorney, my dad, that they had no case. Like, there was nothing they could do. They had the wrong information out. Somebody spoke about it incorrectly. They can't go after me. They had to blame someone, and so they blamed me because they were so concerned about Bureau of Indian Affairs deciding not to give them federal recognition. And I think sometimes we can get swept away by this desire to reconnect, that we will almost accept anything that comes our way. Anybody that opens their heart to us, anybody who opens their door to us, and we're like, I'm there, I'm in it. I almost got sucked into it. It was like a cult. And it was just really disappointing. And I think the biggest disappointment to me was that there were so many people that I met who are cousins, who were cousins and are cousins, that got sucked into this so hard that, like, now there's no contact because their whole life is this. when you are researching your heritage, especially if you have Indigenous heritage in any way, you have to be really careful about the people that are trying to create something out of it that may not be totally accurate, that you really don't want to cross these people because this is their whole life. Like, this is their whole new identity, and they don't want anything to happen to shake that. And so if you're someone that's a truth seeker and you're wanting to pursue the truth about your family, that doesn't jive with stuff like this. And so this was definitely the biggest mistake I have ever made on my family history journey. And as soon as my husband met these people in Louisiana and saw the situation that was happening down there, he was like, we got in the car, I drove home to Nashville, and he was like, Danielle, come on with this. And I was like, no, I think this is legit. I think this is real. Like, I think this is my connection. I'm finally finding my family. Like, this is our family story. And he was like, come on. And it's not to say that there isn't Native heritage. It doesn't mean that that line isn't real, because we do have it, but I don't think it's what is being put out here. And I won't get into too many details, not because I'm afraid of them, but just because they already look so bad. Like, they don't need me piling on them, And so I wanted to share this with you because I think sometimes, we start our family story journeys, or we're trying to piece together our family history. And you might look at me or somebody else and be like, wow, like, look all the stuff they figured out, or they have all these documents or whatever. It's like, yeah, I also have this behind me too. I just want to say that I'm not going to say the tribe name on here. It is a historic tribe. It is a historic tribe. But I believe that the man that is now the chief of it, he's finessing a lot of the facts, if you know what I mean. So all that to say is that this was probably the biggest mistake. And the biggest mistake was probably one, not listening to my husband. He has such a good sense of discernment. I don't ever know. I meet people and I'm like, what a great person. And it's like, it's a terrible person.
You tricked me.
But the other thing is to just not let the excitement of meeting family or reconnecting blind you to maybe the reality of what's going on, and to verify. Like, don't take people's word for it. Like, do the work yourself, find documents for yourself, and trust your gut, because sometimes we do stuff and there's a little voice in your gut that's like, this doesn't feel right, or this person doesn't feel right. And I wish I had listened to that. And also the loud voice of my husband next to me. So this was kind of a shocking journey. And I almost quit after this. I almost quit because I really didn't know where to go. And I'm so glad that I didn't. But I think it's important to learn from the good things and from the embarrassing mistakes. And so this was it.